G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Flashlight Crazy. I thought I'd do a bit of a Javelot comparison today. So I've got the Javelot Turbo, the Javelot Mini, and the Javelot Pro 2 going up against each other. If you're up for a hunting light, I thought if you're looking at Olight, let's check out all the Javelots and see what the difference is. All right, so let's talk emitters first. So let's start with the Mini. I actually don't know. So there it is there. I actually don't know what emitter that is. I have tried to do some surface level research, and a lot of guys who are far more experienced than I am in reviewing have said that it's a very new LED emitter, and that they have seen it in models like in Next Torch, I think the P82 or something like that. So I'm not going to pretend I know what it is. It does give off a bit of a weird tint, especially on low. On low, it does give off a bit of a green tint. So that's not very pleasing to me. But, you know, it's each to their own. It doesn't make a difference outside, to be honest. And, you know, when you're using this hunting or anything like that. So I'm not too concerned about it, but I'm not a great fan of the green tint. So obviously, it has a smooth reflector as well. Got a bloody gorgeous bezel, and just an overall really great look to it. It does come with a holster, no pocket clip, but you know, again, this is designed for a hunting light. You could use it in just in your hand as well, which is great. But the holsters are actually a really nice holster, so I'm not too concerned about the fact that there's no pocket clip on it. Now, the LED in the Javelot Pro 2, if I can get a bit of a look down there, is your luminous SFT70. And this here, better tighten that up. This is what that's going to look like. So bright white light and a lot of it. So that's your SFT70. Now, let's just go halfway. Or that's low, by the way. So low on the Mini, and then low, very low on the Javelot Pro 2. This is, now let's go a bit higher. So this is the difference in the color tint there. So now you can really see that green in the Mini, where, you know, the SFT70 on the right is just, you know, bright white light. But now let's talk the Turbo. So the Turbo has my favorite emitter out of all these three. This one is the KWCULPM1.TG. Very throwy light. And now, on the wall there, it does look white, doesn't it? But when I put the SFT40 next to it, you can kind of now see that this is a bit warmer, can't you? So without the SFT there, you're thinking, oh yeah, that's just cool white. But then you put the SFT70, and now you've got a real clear picture of that this is actually a bit warmer. So I love the CULPM1. Very throwy LED. Let's see if I can get a... Whoa. We're good. See if I can get a picture of it there without reflecting everything. So that is it there. Really nice emitter. Love the emitter in this. Now, let's do a quick spec check, shall we? So, let's start again with the Mini. So, the Mini has 1,000 lumen max when you fully press in, right? And that is going to run for 6.5 minutes. After 6.5 minutes, and by the way, 6.5 minutes, not too bad, 1,000 lumens. After 6.5 minutes, we are going to drop down to 500 lumens, which you'll get for 78 minutes, so an hour and 18 minutes. Then after that, it's going to drop down to 200 lumens, which you'll get for a further 19 minutes before shutting off. Now, on your 1,000 lumen output, this is spec'd to reach 600 meters because it is pushed out by 88,320 candela. So that's very impressive. Very impressive. But if I off and then half press, you've got your low mode of 200 lumens, and you're going to get that for 4 hours and 57 minutes. So we'll call it 5 hours just to be safe, just between friends. And that is going to reach 267 meters because it's pushed out by 17,780 candela. So low and high, it's all you got. And I think they're pretty decent run times, to be honest. They are pretty fair. You're not going to get anything like you do in these big boys, but that's still 6.5 minutes on 1,000 lumens reaching 600 meters. That's pretty brilliant, man. And if you just bring yourself a couple of extra batteries, you're good to go. So the Javelot Mini does use, just pulling this out here, It uses an 18500, so it's not a common size battery, which is 2040 milliamps, 3.6 volt. It is a proprietary Olight battery, so just get them from Olight and you'll be good to go. Now, the Mini has a better drop resistance than the other two. So the Mini has a 1.5 meter drop resistance, and it is IPX8 water submersibility. So that's 2 meters submersible in water, this. Now, if we move to the Turbo, so the Turbo has a very impressive turbo runtime. So the Turbo will run on turbo, in 1300 lumens for 10 whole minutes. So you get 10 minutes of 1300 lumens. During that 10 minutes, it's going to reach 1300 meters. So you've got 1 lumen per 1 meter, basically. Now, after 10 minutes, it'll drop down to 62% of that for 140 minutes. So 2 hours and 20 minutes. Then it'll drop down to 38% for half an hour. Then it'll drop down to 12% for 110 minutes. So you got a long run time with this, a total of 330 minutes from on to off you have with the Turbo during all the step downs, mind you. Then what we have here is we have different outputs. So press and hold to turn it on. And let's just get it to the lowest. Okay, so the lowest output there, 15 lumens, you're going to get for 13 days and 6 hours, as if 13 days wasn't enough. Single click brings you up to 150 lumens for 27 hours. Single click brings you up to 500 lumens. Now, this is an impressive one. 500 lumens is going to give you 300. You're going to get that for 350 minutes, and you're going to the reach of this is 900 meters. So that would be the most sustainable one you're going to get. Absolutely, 500 lumens, 350 minutes. Come on. And then back to your Turbo. Okay, so your Javelot Turbo is really impressive with its lumen outputs and run times. Really impressive. But let's check the Pro 2, shall we? So the Pro 2 does drop a little bit. We've got a massive increase in lumens. So 2,500 lumen output. So 2,500 lumens, 1,300 lumen Turbo, and 1,000 lumen for the Mini. So they are their max outputs. But with the Pro 2, you're going to get 2,500 lumens for 5 minutes. Half the time of the Turbo, but almost double the lumens. So that's pretty impressive. Then after 5 minutes, it'll drop down to 40%, which you'll get for 180 minutes. That's still 3 hours. And then it'll drop down to 24% for an additional 27 minutes. Now, there is a difference in distance. So the Javelot Mini max distance, 600 meters. The Javelot Pro 2 max distance, 1,050 meters. The Javelot Turbo max distance, 1,300 meters. So this is in the middle with the distance, still an amazing distance, over a kilometer, but you're only going to get that for 5 minutes, whereas you're going to get over a kilometer here for 10 minutes. So just something to think about. Now, this has been on turbo for a while, not very hot at all, so I don't think I'll bother doing a heat test with these lights because they are designed to be weapon mounted, so you're not really going to worry about them getting too hot, although you might be holding them here and here with these two, but they step down before they get too hot, so I won't bother with a heat test. What we will do, though, is we'll shoot straight over to the night shots because that's what it's all about, really. I just want to compare the night shots with these three and see the difference in all of them, see what's really going on. Which Javelot will we pick? You know, we've got the Olight Javelots. Now let's find out which one's worth it. All right, let's get out of here and then we'll be back for final thoughts, prices, where to buy, and all the goodies. See you in a sec. All right, and we're kicking things off with the Javelot Turbo. There it is there. That tree is over 100 meters away. We have a very clear hotspot, very crisp. Anything in that tree that I point the hotspot at, it just cannot hide. But the surrounding light, it's useful and I like it, but I can see where some people would prefer the Pro 2 over this one just because this has a brilliantly tight beam, but the surrounding light is not overly apparent. However, for me, it's plenty. It is plenty. Look at that. This is such a great thrower. CULPM1.TG. massive smooth reflector. This is what you get, guys. Brilliant. All right, I'm gonna swap it over now to the Javelot Pro 2. There we have the Javelot Pro 2. So as you can see, more light in the spill, more light in the hotspot, much larger hotspot with that SFT70, and just lights everything up. It's less of a long, thin beam and more of like a just epic light everywhere kind of thing. So that is what you're gonna get from the Javelot Pro 2. Very nice. I do prefer the turbo though, I think. But I think I used to prefer the Pro 2, so I think my taste has changed a little bit, which is interesting. It's funny that. But yeah, nothing's hiding from this either. All right. Now we have the Mini. I mean, look at that. This is palm size, guys. Like that's what's coming out of that. So this is what I'm talking about. The Mini is enough. It just is. It's enough. It's enough of a thrower. Oh, sensational. Seriously. Incredible. Love it. I love that. Look at that. I love this little light. It's just phenomenal. So there you have it. We have the Mini, the Turbo, and the Pro 2. Which one is your choice? I would honestly choose the Mini because this is well and truly enough for my needs. And look at that. It's just perfect. Absolutely love it. All right. See ya. All right. So let's talk prices first before we go into anything else. So look, the Javelot Mini is going to come in at $145 from lightshop.com.au. I will link it at Lightshop and I'll also link it at Olight Australia. The Javelot Turbo is a massive leap in price. That's going to jump up to $318. So again, I'll link it at Lightshop and I'll link it at Olight Australia. And the Javelot Turbo drops a little bit down. My mistake. The Javelot Pro 2 drops a little bit down in price at $290 from lightshop.com.au. So again, I'll link it in all the places. But let's talk. Well, okay, so we've got the night shots. They were pretty impressive. Now, what's pretty impressive about the night shots to me is the Mini, because the Mini it's no joke. I mean, yes, it's got a weird tint. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm not impressed with the tint very much, but it's a bloody nice little hunting light, man. I love how compact it is and how far reaching it is. You know, for a little thrower, this is really cool. Where it might let you down is runtime. Obviously, it's got a small battery, nothing compared to these big boys. So it's hard to say, well, the Mini's not good enough because it doesn't have as good runtime as the Pro 2 or the Turbo when these guys have got friggin' triple the battery capacity. But there's nothing saying that you can't buy an extra 2, 3, or 4 batteries from Olight for the Mini and then you're good to go. It's like good to go. So that is something that you could consider doing if you wanted to save money, but also have a much more compact light. Because again, I'm not a hunter, but I would imagine having a light this small on your weapon is going to be a lot less weight and just a lot more practical and a lot easier to carry around than having something like this on it. So, cheaper, lighter, still amazing throw. I mean, look, again, nothing like the big boys, but it is still amazing throw, the Mini. So I think this is a really, really good option for, hunters out there who want to save a bit of money, but also have, some decent distance and just buy a couple of extra batteries and you're good to go. Now, in terms of these two, we do have a stark difference. We've got a different color temperature, a nicer color temperature in my opinion, in the Turbo, and further distance. But we've got more light and just a screaming hot, crisp hotspot. So I think the choice between these two comes down to a personal preference. I really do. If you want more light, just like blasting light, then definitely go the Pro 2. Don't think twice about it. But if you're not too concerned about blasting light, and in fact, if you want something more a little bit discreet and something with, a really, really long, nice beam, still offers spill, but it doesn't kind of blind everything in your sight, then the turbo is going to be the way to go as well. So I think it's a personal preference. For me, look, I'm not a hunter, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably go the Mini. I'm all for power in a small package. I just am. And I love the Mini. I think it's a great light to come out by Olight. I just think that it does get let down a little bit by that tint. I mean, it's not pretty, is it? It's greeny. It's not pretty. I mean, I don't know if they were trying to match the color of this light because it's green. I don't think they were. But look, it's a great light. I'm very impressed with it. And I would choose it over all three of them just because I love the compact. And, the green tint doesn't affect its performance at all. It's just a little bit ugly to look at. That's all. I think that's it, guys. So thanks very much for watching. And until next time, stay cool and stay safe. See ya.